Next, I head to a local craft brewery, Good Prospects Brewery, and I speak to master brewer and partner Duncan. And Duncan explains some of the challenges of opening up a new business during the pandemic. There's been so many different obstacles for them to overcome, but the beauty of all of this is as they were opening, the local community kept asking, when are you opening? When are you opening? When they finally did, the support was absolutely overwhelming.
We chose this location for several reasons. The first one was it was sort of in our price range for the square footage that we needed to actually open the brewery. It's on a major street artery, so right on Saint Laurent Boulevard. There's a large amount of drive-by traffic and walk-by traffic every single day. There's people walking by saying, we're so happy that you're open. Or when we were in construction saying, when are you going to be open? We're so excited to come and buy beer. The other big advantage is I only live about a 3-minute drive away, and one of the other business partners lives even closer. He lives about a 5-minute walk away. So it was sort of really central for us, and it's a neighborhood that we know and have lived in for a while and wanted to be able to work here. Me and the other two main business partners, we actually met working for a geologic consulting company. And so we're all working in mining, exploration, and prospecting. And my fiance actually said, we were walking our dog one night and she just mentioned, what about Good Prospects? And I'm like, yeah, that's great. It fits perfectly with what we're doing. And it is a nod to our mining background and exploration background, but it also is just sort of a nice thought to have for a community that's opening a new business, to just have good prospects in the community. We have 3 main recipes. I have grisette in this fermenter and a Kolsch style ale in FV2. That's the one that's bubbling away. Then we have an IPA and 2 varieties of Saison. This week I'm actually going to be starting on 2 more smaller batch recipes that I'm trying to work up into bigger batches. So it'll be a sort of darker beers because especially in the winter, darker beers are sort of a nice style that sort of makes people feel more comfortable and gives you that sort of warm sensation in the stomach and a bit heartier. So working on some recipes for that. If it was as simple as making the beer, starting a brewery, everybody would be able to do it. It's everything else. It's the permitting, the dealing with contractors, finalizing plans with engineers, architects, and then submitting it for your building permits, finding suppliers for all the grain and hops that have to come in, working with a yeast lab to pick the right strains for the types of beers you want to buy or produce. So there's a huge amount that goes into a brewery. It's probably like any small business. There's way more behind the scenes than just sort of the glamorous part of making beer and then selling it and pulling it in glasses. Most of the main challenges with opening the business did center on the pandemic. We were originally hoping to open in the spring 2020. Then the pandemic happened in March, and there were a couple months where it was extremely hard to get any construction done. Then through the summer, it was also extremely hard to get construction done once things were back open a bit, just because everybody in the world decided they wanted to renovate their house, and it was impossible to get building materials and contractors, or the contractors we did have were stretched extremely thin and having to split their time between us and other clients. But we just pushed ahead and got to a point around Christmas where we could start brewing beer. And then the lockdown came, but by that point we'd already shifted our focus to more of a curbside pickup, anticipating that the pandemic was going to be around for a little bit longer, so it didn't really affect our opening much. There has been a fair bit of anxiety with the sort of changes in public health guidance throughout the pandemic. Luckily we just sort of took it step by step and sit and read the new emergency order as they came out, or the new guidelines from the province. Because we were just under construction, it didn't affect us from the summer until basically now. There wasn't really much effect on us. And the lockdown actually gave us a little bit of a opportunity to have sort of a soft opening. So we didn't have to be fully ready to the public and have 20, 30 people trying to come in the front door. So it allowed us to sort of have a nice soft opening and meter the amount of interaction we had with the public. The support from the community and the feedback we've been getting has been fantastic. we had the first day that we opened, my phone was just sitting there buzzing as all the orders came in, and I was kind of blown away by how excited people were to actually come and buy our beer. And for the first couple weeks, it was constant. We were trying to balance finding time to actually fill the orders and have them handed out to people at curbside pickup while still trying to bottle more beer and brew more beer. So now that we're sold out, it's a good problem to have, and that it gives us time to just focus on the brewing for a couple weeks and get stock back up so that we can have more varieties of beer for everybody.